Steps to take to qualify for a mortgage loan and get the best interest rate. When considering purchasing a house or property, most buyers need a loan and will need to file an application with a lender. Different lenders and financing programs have different requirements to qualify a buyer for a mortgage loan. This video will primarily discuss residential mortgage loans for individuals or small investors, not for larger commercial loans.
Pre-qualification. Pre-qualification is the preliminary stage where an applicant's lending history and creditworthiness are analyzed to determine whether a lender will offer them a loan and in what amount. The applicant's score generally is not used at this stage. It's a cursory initial review. Pre-approval. Pre-approval is the process where a lender evaluates a potential borrower to determine whether the applicant qualifies for a loan from that lender, and if so, then the maximum amount that the lender would be willing to lend.
The borrower's income, expenses, and credit report and score will be thoroughly analyzed in this process.
A loan commitment is a contract between the lender and the applicant which lays out in detail what the loan would look like. An applicant can then take this to a real estate agent to determine which properties the applicant can afford to consider. A lender will not issue a loan commitment letter unless it is ready to offer the applicant the loan. This is a contract.
FICO, Fair Isaac Corporation, is synonymous with credit score and is also called a FICO score. This is a number between 300 and 850, 300 being at the low end of the spectrum and 850 at the very top. The final score is usually calculated using 5 criteria and percentages. Applicant's payment history makes up 35% of the FICO score.
This involves how the applicant's credit accounts have been paid in the past, whether they were paid on time or late, and how late. This also includes any accounts that have gone to collections or if the applicant has recently had charge-offs, settlements, bankruptcies, foreclosures, lawsuits, wage attachments, liens, or other judgments against him or her.
Amount applicant currently owes makes up 30% of the FICO score.
This means how much available credit the applicant has, as well as what type of credit the applicant has, and the total amount the applicant owes to all credit sources.
Length of credit history accounts for 15% of the FICO score.
This is how long the applicant has used credit or loans as an adult, the average age of the accounts, and the average length of time the applicant made regular payments on those accounts. A long history of regular payments is great, and a long history of late payments would be detrimental to the FICO score.
New credit applications weigh into 10% of the FICO score. The fewer new credit applications, the better.
This includes how many new accounts an applicant has opened in the last few months, and what the outstanding available credit is for that applicant. For example, if an applicant has $40,000 in available credit on new credit cards, a lender might be concerned that the applicant, once approved for a mortgage, might max out those credit cards by using that $40,000 credit, and then he or she may be unable to make the monthly mortgage payments.
The different types of credit in use by the applicant account for 10% of the FICO score. This includes what type of credit the applicant is currently using, such as credit cards, store credit, other mortgages, car loans, etc. The lenders prefer to see mortgages or installment loans such as car loan more than multiple credit cards, again, depending on the percent usage of the credit cards as discussed prior. Now that we know how the FICO score works, let's cover some other general things that weigh heavily into the qualification of a buyer for a mortgage loan. As a borrower, the goal is to control as many of these things as possible, so that they work in your favor. First on the list is income. The buyer's income is one of the first things that will give the lender an idea of the buyer's capacity or ability to repay the loan. The lender will look at the main source of income, and the salary or hourly wage income from a part-time or second job, from commissions, bonuses, or overtime pay, Social Security benefits, alimony, spousal support and child support payments received. Rental income will also be considered, if it comes from an investment property.
The second thing is the credit score, which we've already discussed. The buyer's credit score has a significant effect on the applicant being qualified for a loan. Even with loosened requirements on credit scores, lenders don't tend to extend standard loans to buyers with credit scores below 620. If a loan is approved with a lower credit score, it will always come at a terribly higher price to the borrower.
The third big thing is job history. Lenders use this to determine stability of future income. The borrower's job history is examined when considering the person for a loan. Lenders will look at the jobs the buyer has held, how often the applicant has changed jobs, whether the applicant has been unemployed for extensive periods of time, and the general income levels at each job, or for the industry in which the applicant is employed. Whether applicant is a W-2 employee, a 1099 contractor or a business owner, 2 years continuous gainful employment prior to application date is considered best. For the self-employed, make sure to have profit and loss statements ready. A loss is not a problem as long as the owner-operator takes home a decent amount of money after taxes each month.
Fourth, lenders will look at an applicant's personal savings and assets. The applicant's personal savings are examined in order to get a more complete picture of the person's financial state. Lenders consider assets such as checking and savings accounts, gifts or grants, retirement accounts such as 401ks. Debt-to-income ratio. The debt-to-income ratios are a significant factor that is considered when a buyer is being qualified. The income of the buyer is compared to the amount of debt the buyer is currently paying off or legally obligated to pay off. A buyer who is drowning in debt is less likely to be qualified than a buyer that is relatively free of debt. 36% or less debt to income is best, but some lenders will accept 45% or less.
Total debt-to-income ratio. The total debt-to-income ratio is used to show how much of buyer's gross monthly income will be spent on all the buyer's outstanding debt, meaning mortgage payments, car loans, alimony or spousal support payments, child support payments, credit card debt, student loans, etc.
Mortgage lenders usually approve loans to buyers who have a total debt-to-income ratio of less than 36%. FHA loans are not available to buyers who are projected to spend more than 43% of their gross monthly income to cover all their debts. Number 6 is the housing expense ratio. The housing expense ratio compares a buyer's gross monthly income to the projected costs of homeownership, which are the mortgage payments, property taxes, homeowners insurance premiums, homeowners association fees, etc. Most lenders will not lend to a buyer if homeownership costs are projected to take up more than 28% of the buyer's gross monthly income. A buyer must have a housing expense ratio of less than 31% to qualify for a loan backed by the Federal Housing Administration. Now you know exactly how to set yourself up for success long before needing to apply for a mortgage loan. The farther away you are from these desired criteria, the higher credit risk you are classified as. If you are classified as a high credit risk, you always get a bad deal, even if approved for a loan. You will have to pay a higher interest rate, your monthly mortgage payments will be higher, and overall, you will pay a lot more for the loan than you should have ever paid.
For example, if Adam takes out a $300,000 loan for a term of 30 years, and gets approved at a 5.5% interest rate, due to his overall credit profile, he will pay back a total of $613,212 for the loan, with monthly mortgage payment of $1,703. If Brad takes out the same exact $300,000 loan for 30 years, but with a higher interest rate of 7.5% because he is considered as a higher credit risk, he will pay a total of $755,152 for the same exact loan, with monthly mortgage payment of $2,098. This is a full $141,940 more than Adam.
Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more similar informational videos.